This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2020 Laredo Superlight by Keystone. The model number is 294 SBR. Okay, so this is not a floor plan or a sales video. This just goes over some of the features for those of you who are new to the model or new to RV and that sort of thing. Okay, just so while we're standing here, just so you know, this type of slide room is called an AccuSlide. There are different types, just in case you ever need to know. This one's called an AccuSlide. Okay, you've got two power awnings, one on the slide room, one on the door side of the trailer. Okay, your stairs obviously fold into the trailer. You can adjust the length of the legs by pulling this pin right here and sliding them up and down until you get to the where you need to be, depending on what kind of terrain you're on. You got outside speakers up there also. While we're in here, let me look here. First of all, I don't know if you can see it right up here, we have TV hookups in here, so you can put a TV outside. That is a 3/4 inch crank. This is your pass-through basement storage, right? That's your sewer hose kit there, of course. Your battery, and this also has a battery kill switch right here, if you can see that, in case you need to turn the battery off if you're putting it into storage for a period of time. Now this is just this is made by Furrion, and it's just a hookup if you want to purchase one of their solar panels that charges a battery. It's strictly a battery charger, so if you were to buy one, that's where you would plug it in. Okay, docking lights, of course. Let me see what we've got in here. I think we already could see it from the other side, but I'll open it anyway. Oops, sorry about my camera work. Okay, so there you have it. Okay. So this is a hose, quick connect hose, so you can hose things down. You have your tank dump valves here. This is your black and this is your gray. Also, you can check out these levers. There's two positions. If you want to run the tank on normal flow, would be like this way, regular city water. And then, of course, this one, if you want to fill the tank. The reason you would want to fill the tank, if you're camping at a campground that doesn't have plumbing, you can pre-fill the tank and then use the onboard pump to pump the water. Okay, also to winterize this position here, off and on. Okay, and the water heater bypass valve. You have to bypass the water heater before you winterize, and that's this diagram right here. Your city water hookup, which is the most common way to get water to the trailer, is right here, right? But if you wanted to fill it, you know, you're going to be like this, right? So if you wanted to fill it, you would put it down to the fill position. Instead of going to all the fixtures, the water would go into the fresh water tank. Also, this has to do with winterizing. You'll have to educate yourself a bit on that if you need to, if you're going to do it yourself and you don't know. And this is a black tank flush here. So it cleans out your black tank. So basically, what you'll when you're dumping, you'll pull your black tank valve first, because black tank is is toilet water and waste. It's the dirtiest of waters of the tanks. And then gray tank is pulled second, and that's sink and shower water. So you use that to, you originally pull it second. It kind of cleans out the hose a bit, and then you can hook your hose at your dump station up to here, turn it on, and it'll spray out your black tank and clean off the sensors and that sort of thing. Just always make sure your black tank valve is open before you turn the water on. That's just cable and satellite through. Okay. This is your water heater. Okay, the controls are on the inside except for this switch right here. This switch here controls the electric heating element that's behind this cover here. So keep in mind that it's there. Sometimes they'll have one inside the trailer too, and you'll have two switches, but Always remember you have to turn it on to use the electric heating element. Also, this is where you drain the water heater from right here. 1/16 6-point socket to do that. Okay. Alrighty. Another AccuSlide. You got a 50 amp power cord, so it's a 50 amp system. This is the range hood vent right here. So if you're going to turn the fan and the range hood on, just make sure you open this baffle by turning those two tabs so it flaps freely, so it vents to the outside. When you're not venting, you want to keep it closed, you know, keep it in storage or during travel, that sort of thing. But if you're venting, you want to open those up. Okay. There's a second gray tank here on this one, so this has 2 gray tanks. This is where your power cable goes, your shore cord. Okay, and this is a 4-way hookup, I believe. You have, first of all, it's if you look here, it's pre-wired for a backup camera, so you can add a backup camera, and also. This ladder, it's a good thing to have because the manufacturer states that you should inspect the roof every 90 days. So you want to send somebody up there or go up there yourself, be real careful. Look at all the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation or leaks. Make sure that none of the roofing material or the vent covers were damaged by low branches, that sort of thing. Just, and the manufacturer says every 90 days for that. And that's important to do. People don't inspect their seals enough. Okay, so right when we come in the door here, the first thing we see is this device here. Let me get in a good position because I can't see very well here. Wait a minute. Let's try it like this. Okay, so this device here is your power converter. So what it does, it converts AC to DC power. So you start off right here, and you got regular circuit breakers like you'd see at home, and of course they're all labeled. These are all AC circuits, right? Then the power is converted to 12-volt DC over here, right? And you see the 12-volt fuses, and they're all labeled. So that's where the 12-volt power comes from. Also, because your battery's 12 volts too, obviously, this, when you're plugged in, this will sense how much energy your battery needs, and it'll keep your battery charged up too when you're plugged in. Okay? One last thing, when these fuses blow, if they were to blow, they'll actually light up and you can see them glowing through this tinted plastic here. Okay? Alright. So let's see, we'll start right here. Okay, so this is your control panel. Turn on the light here. So basically you can check your levels from here. So fresh water's empty. Your battery's low because we've been running on battery for a while. I got all the lights on, everything. We're not plugged in. It'll be charged when you pick up your trailer. Black tank, which you just have one black tank in this, so don't pay any attention to black tank 2. But you can see that's empty. It graduates up in 1/3 increments. You can't really see that. Graduates up in 1/3 Let me sorry again. Sorry about my lousy camera work here. Okay. It graduates up in 1/3 increments as these light up. Once you get past 2/3, you got to start thinking about dumping your black and gray tank. But you got 2 gray tanks. Gray 1 is empty. Gray 2 is empty. Gray 2 is going to be the Gallic tank. It's sometimes referred to as a Gallic tank, and it's the one that is for your kitchen sink there. So that's going to have its own tank. That was the one that I showed you in the towards the back of the trailer on the outside. I said it was the second gray tank. That's where that one would dump. Okay. All right. So your water heater. There are 2 different switches, like I said. So remember I showed you the electric switch outside. This is the second one in here, just so you know. That's for electric. Never run it on the water heater on electric, or run it period without water in the tank. Always make sure you got water in there. To turn it on gas is right here, right? Your water pump. Remember I told you you could fill the fresh water tank and then turn on the pump, and all the plumbing will work just like you have city water, even if you're camping someplace that doesn't. Well, that's the pump right there. You also use the pump to winterize. Okay, so you have 3 slide outs, 2 here, a door side, an off door side, and then the bedroom slide. Okay, Also, you have this power awning right here, which is probably the one over the door. Let me see here. Yeah, so it's the one that's over the door, and then you have a second one here, which is the one on the slide room. Of course, never leave these things out unattended if you're not going to be at the campsite. Roll the awning in so it doesn't get damaged. Also, this is your thermostat. It's an analog thermostat. It's very simple, obviously. One click to the right is heat. One click to the left is the fan. The fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor, okay? And you click it again to cool, that's the air conditioner. Try to always keep the fan on auto if you can. That's the best way to run it. Set your temperature and you're all set. Let's see. So let me look in here real quick before I go on here. Yeah, so the reason you have a 50 amp system is because this is pre-wired for a second air conditioner. It would go right in the vent here. And you can see that's, I'm sure that's what that sticker there, if you can see it says. But that's where it goes, so it's pre-wired for that. And also, let me just look around a minute. Okay, yeah, so this would be considered a separate zone, and you would use the kind of air conditioner that the thing that covers it is called a ceiling panel, so, or ceiling assembly. So the you would use the type in here with the knobs right on it, right? So you could just set it independently of the other one from in here. Okay, let me look around in here, see if there's anything else I need to point out while we're here. It's pre-wired for a router, that's all that's saying, just pre-wired. You can hang another TV here. Here's a mounting backing plate for your TV bracket, and of course your hookups, your power, that sort of thing. Okay, the bed pulls up obviously, and there's a storage underneath. Okay, let me get back out here to what I was doing. I just wanted to make sure I hadn't looked in there. I want to make sure I was giving you the correct information about the air conditioning. So anyway, so this thermostat controls the heat and the cooling, and the heat throughout the trailer, but the cooling in this area here. Okay. Alrighty. So first thing, you always remember to run your fan with the shower, because these things are built really tightly these days, so you want to vent the humidity out. The sink works like any other sink. This is a GFCI here. There's probably 2 of them in this trailer. All the plugs, whether they are GFCI type or not, are wired through a GFCI. So even the plug outside, if you pop it, using a coffee pot or something, you'd reset it inside the trailer. And if you don't know RV toilets, I don't have a lot of room here to show you, but let me back up here. I'll follow over here. This is your flush pedal right here, of course. Okay. So you can't use this dry. By dry, I'm talking about the black tank, which is directly below there, right? So when you get to the campground, basically you hook up your power and your water. You'll come in here. You'll have 1 dose of toilet chemical, whichever brand you use. You put 1 dose in there. Then you're going to step on the pedal. Water's going to come swirling out and swirling around, right? You stand on the pedal till you put a gallon or so of water in there, too, with the chemical. Some people use more water, it's up to you, but the main thing to remember is you have to have chemical and water in there when you start using it, and if you don't, the smell will be overwhelming, and it will also can get clogged up. So you always make sure, if you're going to dump your tank but you're still staying at the campground, you come back in here and repeat the procedure, chemical and a gallon of water. Okay. That's one mistake you only make once, so. Okay. So, we got this little bar area here with a wine or bottle rack, whichever you prefer to call it. I imagine there's some campers who carry that much wine, but you can put whatever you want there, obviously. And then you have a whoops, let me get it on the side. You have a dorm style refrigerator, which works on AC power, so as soon as you plug in the trailer, it turns on. Okay, these are your remotes. There's actually 3 remotes. There's one for the Fireplace too. I'll make sure that's in here. The Fireplace, we're not plugged into AC power right now, so I can't turn it on, but I'll talk you through it. Basically, you have a button that will change the appearance of the flame, changes the color, the intensity, that sort of thing. You also have a thermostat. You also have fan speed, off, low, and high. And there's a timer also, so you can set the timer for it to turn on, let's say 15 minutes before you get up in the morning. you can have this thing kick on and it'll take the chill out of this room. And the good thing about it is it uses campground electricity, so you're not going to be using your limited supply of LP gas to just to take the chill out, right? You can run this a lot of times where you don't quite need the furnace. You know, you can get by with this, so it just saves on LP also. This is your sound here and picture, in the sense that it plays CDs and DVDs. You can stream off the USB, so you can take all of your albums with you and put them on one stick. It also has Bluetooth, so you can hook up wirelessly with your phone or your tablets, whatever. It has AM/FM radio with all the normal AM/FM radio features, you know, presets and all that, clock, you know. It has 2 speaker zones. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it does a lot for considering you're camping. Now this bracket here, the TV is on, swings out, so you can pull this out and see it from wherever you're sitting, so you can do that. Your refrigerator is a gas absorption refrigerator. Okay, so let me start with this way. First of all, it turns on right here. You can kill that beep sound too if you want. There's a way to shut it off. Now this clip here is holding something called a thermistor. The thermistor is on the end of that cable there. If you see the sticker, it says the higher you go with it, the cooler it gets. So basically you're just going to slide this up as high as you can get it and leave it there. If the thermistor falls out of the clip, just pull the clip off, put the thermistor back in and put it back on. You'll almost always have it up all the way. Occasionally when it starts to get cooler outside, you might have to back it off, but for mostly you're going to have it up all the way, okay? Now, I said this was gas absorption, so it runs on 110 AC or LP gas, okay? So this is where you set the source. You have 2 options. You have auto, and then you have gas, right? The auto is where you go. Auto basically means electricity. So it seeks out electricity, and when it finds it, it runs the refrigerator on electricity. But if it can't find electricity, it'll automatically switch over to gas and light it on gas. That's why it's called automatic. Now, a typical scenario would be you're out for the day, it's a hot day, and soon after you leave the campground, it has a power failure. Well, this would sense that. It's running on electricity. It would sense the loss of electricity, and it'll automatically switch over to gas for you so you don't spoil your food. So auto's the way to go. You can run this down the road on gas, by the way. People always ask that. Yes, you can. Be careful. Use common sense. I don't know if he's got the tanks on here, but we'll see. This you spark to light. So this is the sparker. You turn it clockwise. So there you see it. 3 knobs, 3 burners. Okay. And you have lights here also, by the way. Now this oven, if you look all the way to the back at the bottom, that's where the pilot light is. I can spark this so maybe you can see it sparking back there, so you can get an idea where it's at. So all you do is you go to the oven knob, which is all the way to the right. You go to the picture of the flame, which means pilot. You depress it like that and hold it that way. Then with the other hand, you're going to spark this until the pilot light down here lights. After it lights, you still hold this in for another 10 seconds or so to heat it up. Then you go to whatever temperature you want. When you shut it off, you have to remember that the pilot light goes off also. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. Alright. I showed you the vent on the outside for the range hood. Remember I told you about the baffles? So if you turn on the fan like that, you want to have the baffle open on the outside so it flaps freely and vents to the outside. You also have a light there. Microwave works like any other microwave. You have a pantry. And this light up here is the type where there's 3 positions on the switch: on, off, and then motion detector. So you can have it set on motion, so only when the door opens it'll turn on. Okay? Or just whatever. Whatever you want to do. Okay. Emergency windows are all the same. You push it through this way, and you would push it all the way through, of course. And then you grab hold of this red tab, pull the screen out, and you can exit that way. Okay? Your table drops down, and you can put the cushions on there and turn this into a bed. This one here is a hide-a-bed. So you take the back cushions off, you grab it right here and unfold it. It's a 3-panel foam hide-a-bed. I'm not going to say foam for sure because I didn't look at this one, but they usually are. And then you drop the legs and you've got a nice size comfortable bed. It's not like the old kind of hide-a-beds where you had the bar and the spring sticking in your back. Okay. So I think we might have covered it here. I'm looking around just to see. I mean, you have a, I still haven't seen it. Let me look around here. There it is right there. You have your detector right here. So this one does, definitely does propane. Let me see if it does carbon monoxide too. Hold on. Yeah, this is a propane detector, so if it goes off, make sure you take everybody outside, leave the door open, shut the gas off at the front and figure out what's going on. Okay. Then up on the ceiling, there's going to be a smoke detector. And, let me just make sure here, hold on. That would be this one here. And, there we go. And this is a carbon monoxide detector here. So, you got LP detector, smoke detector, and a carbon monoxide detector. Alright, so that covers it then. Okay, well I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's very important. People don't inspect the roof enough. If you see some cracking or separation, you take care of it immediately. You never use caulk from the hardware store. Always go to an RV place and get the right stuff. It comes in a caulk tube. It's only $1 or $2 more than silicone from the hardware store, except it's more specialized and that sort of thing. So make sure you get the right stuff, okay? Thank you very much.